Welcome to Crown Vic Diaries.
Alright, I'm going to go a little in depth here on my 86 Crown Victoria. I have affectionately named Tex, mainly due to the fact that I bought the car from a gentleman in Texas. Ford LTD Crown Victoria LX two-door. A few things that I've already added. Didn't get the code. Is this keypad right here. This keypad actually came from a Lincoln Mark 7, 1984 to 1992. Modified the door, cut a hole in it. I'm sure there's a whole bunch of people going, "Oh my God, you cut a hole in it!" It's my car. I'm going to do what I want with it. As I'm sure anybody's vehicle, they're going to do what they want to do with their vehicle. So, to start with, my messy interior. I haven't gotten a chance to clean it.
You couldn't clean it before the video? Damn.
Listen, I don't want to hear it. I think you got a Coke can and a Pepsi bottle in your car.
Ooh, big deal. You have a literal box in your passenger seat.
Yes, a box of brake cables for your car.
No proof.
So anyway, this is the interior. These seats are not original. These are from a 1989 Mercury Grand Marquis that I have modified to fold forward for the two-door. Some of the pieces are original, some of them not so much. The door panels are all original. Everybody's got a lead on some replacement straps. Kind of need one. That'd be great.
Mine are mint, if anyone's curious.
I know where to get one. Anywho, standard equipment on LXs, power door, lock, and window group, power mirrors, windows, door locks. In the two doors, you have if I can get the thing open, you have a rear cigarette lighter and ashtray. Now I'll talk through some of the features that I added. I'm just going to have you get in the car because it's a lot easier.
Okay.
So here we have a few modifications to the speedometer. The speedometer is not original. It is from a police vehicle. It goes to 140 miles an hour with cutout holes for check oil and low fuel. You won't see those normally on these, because they are covered up by black plastic. In addition to those, we're going to have some other things, some warning indicators on the left of the instrument cluster.
Those right there. That's what it looks like all lit up for you.
Yes, the door chime works. No, I am not disabling it.
Mine doesn't work, and I'm happy about it.
We're going to fix it. So anyway, we got a coolant over temp light. Take that dinger out, because it's going to annoy people. Got a coolant over temp light, an ABS light, and a traction control light.
He's referring to these lights right here.
Now, you may be thinking to yourself, this is a 1986 Crown Victoria. There's no way that this thing has anti-lock brakes and traction control. Well, guess what? You're wrong. This vehicle actually does have those things. I have personally added these to this vehicle. When we go under the hood, I will go in depth. But there are a few more things to see. As you move over to the right, you'll notice that there are some additional gauges. Water, volts, and oil pressure. These gauges do not come factory, except for in some options on the police cruisers. The instrumentation in stock form is pretty lackluster. You get an oil gauge, a fuel gauge, excuse me, and a speedometer. Everything else is an idiot light. And by idiot light, I mean the light comes on, you got a problem.
Get a new car, basically.
Yeah, that check engine light that would come on, yeah, you got no oil pressure or you're severely overheated. Brake light comes on, you left your parking brake on, or you're got no brake pressure.
Yeah, you're not stopping.
Check oil light, you're low on oil. Low fuel, you're low on fuel. Amp light, you're not charging. Now, on the bottom here, we have something that looks a little out of place. That is an electronic automatic temperature control setup from a 1998 to 2001, but they continued the design later on, Crown Victoria or Grand Marquis. So I have retrofitted from just the main vacuum controls that this had to vacuum and electronic. The reason I did that is this did have the automatic temperature controls of this year, all vacuum based, with a now obsolete and almost impossible to get interior air temperature sensor. So when I blew the heater core, like I mostly do, came up with another stupid idea, which turned out to be not so stupid. I managed to retrofit that system in, and it works flawlessly. Above that is a 1987 or 1988 Lincoln JBL cassette radio. Now, the thing that's special about this is, one, it's a gray face instead of the darker charcoal or black faced radio. It's got a little bit more output as far as sound, and it is paired with an aftermarket amplifier, subwoofer, and speakers. In addition to that, my friend, who I will link his channel to here, wired up an aux input. The aux input's just kind of hanging down there as a temporary. I will reaffix that at a later date. Just didn't want to drill a hole in my panel just yet.
And this is your sub control, right?
My subwoofer control. Everything other than that is controlled directly through the stock radio controls. So we'll get on with that, and we'll open the hood for you. Show you what I got.
If anyone's curious, the hood release on these cars is right down there.
Yep, right next to the brake pedal release. Unless you have an older model, then you don't get a brake pedal release handle. You get like this weird lever foot release thing. You try to use your hand, the brake pedal will smack your hand, and it'll hurt a lot.
Now, actually, you mind shutting that hood real quick? Now, let's see if I can pick it up on camera here. You might notice this little indent in this hood right here. Right there. That's from not shutting the hood right on these cars. You want to show them how to shut the hood correctly?
Now, personally, this is how I do it. Because most of the time, if I'm shutting the hood, I probably have dirty hands. The way that I do it is I put my hand right up on this the release latch here, and I just go down, shut it like that. Slam it. Ideally, you think, I shouldn't slam it. I should close it real nicely. Well, that's how you get that.
That's what happens.
So don't do that.
I'm going to reopen the hood now. But that's a tip right there. If you do get one, don't close it gently. Slam the hood.
Things that help them close easier as well. Make sure you're
now, John,
properly
what
lubricating that.
Are we looking at right now?
You're looking at something that shouldn't be in here. What we have here is, wow, that fitting is really leaky. Fix that. We have a Ford 351 Windsor, Ford 20R, running the upper and lower intake manifolds off of a Lightning 351 F-150 Edelbrock aluminum heads, valve covers off of an 85 GT Mustang, a whole bunch of other goodies that we'll delve into. This is obviously not stock. You'll see a stock one soon. This thing is my money pit. Lots of mods here. It's no longer running off of the stock operating system. It's actually running off of OBD2.
So you said it's running off of OBD2?
Yeah, it's running off of OBD2. OBD2, if people don't know, stands for Onboard Diagnostics. OBD2 came out mid-year
1995.
And became standard in the United States in 1996, government mandated. This is currently running off of a 2001 Ford Crown Victoria P71 powertrain control module. It is running distributorless ignition. As you can see here, there's no distributor. That's actually a cam synchro that was put together out of multiple cam synchros to work with the 351.
Ooh.
We got a crank sensor and a modified balancer with a 96 to 2001 Ford Explorer crank reluctor tone ring. The belt drive is a factory Crown Victoria for this year with the proper 351 AC brackets.
Now these cars did come with 351s from factory, but they only ever came carbureted.
Carbureted with crappy cylinder heads and flat tappet cams. This block is a 94 truck block. 94 truck blocks up till 1997. They were still offered in the F-250 with the old body style. And roller compatible, which that means, like the Mustangs of the 80s and up in the 5.0s, you could run better cams with roller lifters instead of the conventional flat tappets that would require zinc. Roller engines do not require a zinc additive.
Now what cam is in this car?
This cam is a Comp Cams Extreme Energy XE270HR. There are two cam grinds in this. There is the 114 lobe separation and the 112. I'll be damned if I remember which one this is. All I know is that's what it has. I can give you the part number, but that's neither here nor there. Now, in addition to this running OBD2, we actually have coil on plug, or it's now coil near plug, ignition system for a 2001 Crown Victoria. So it's running Motorcraft plugs. What is this? Motorcraft coil packs and modified Ford Racing spark plug wires. So as you can see, one of my friends who we will introduce in another video, because he has a 1982 LTDS, which, for if you're not aware, is a vehicle just like this, but instead of the quad headlights, they're single headlights.
Talk us a bit about the front end of your car.
The front end of the car, some of it is original, some of it is not. Not due to accidents, but because of personal taste. The vehicles normally come with the exception of 1979, come with amber turn signal lenses. This is 1 year only, 1979 LTD Landau. Use clear lenses and amber reflector. They all have amber reflectors. This grille is 1 year only, 1982. This has small grill holes with the Ford emblem. Every other year, 1983, bigger square holes with the Ford emblem. 1981 and down to 1979 is this grill. It spells out Ford. Other than that, your front end is original. Bumper's original, header panel, all that good stuff. Putting things together, hodgepodging stuff. Point to a part, and I could probably tell you what kind of car it came off of. And this is how much interchangeability that these vehicles have with other cars, just to make them, do things that, they weren't originally designed to do. Like, you're going to point to something? This is a washer fluid reservoir off of a 1992 Mercury Grand Marquis. The washer reservoirs are pretty much the same after 1992. You probably find one the same into like a 2011 Crown Victoria. This airbox is off of the 2004 Crown Victoria P71. This is the desired upper intake hose and mass airflow sensor and airbox that even the newer Crown Vic guys would want to run, because 80mm mat and great big air intake.
It's kind of hard. There you go. How about that?
That old thing? That's just, the brainchild behind the anti-lock brakes and the traction control that are in this car, paired with the OBD2 modification. That particular thing is out of a 2001 Grand Marquis with traction assist. These, more fitting for the era of the car, are off of a Crown Victoria station wagon, like this. These are fender braces. The holes are already in the fenders, because the fenders are the same between the Ford and Mercury vehicles, regardless of two-door, four-door, or station wagon variety.
And that's for 1979 all the way to 1987. They're the same, unless it's a Lincoln Town Car.
1991, if we're talking about fenders, with the exception of trim panel mountings, because the Grand Marquis in '88 started getting some very ugly trim. In my personal opinion, some people may like it. I absolutely hate it. I think it destroys the entire look of the car. Regardless. Oh, the wheels? The wheels are off of a 2001 Crown Victoria. They are what they call the Handling Performance Package, or HPP wheels. They are loosely modeled after the EBS wheels that Ford used in the mid-'80s on the Lincoln Mark 7. And those were actually produced by BBS and later on imitated by Ford.
Now that's not a factory tire size, is it?
Not for this car. It's 225/60/60, which is a proper size for 1998 to 2002, and in some cases onward on the Crown Victoria, Grand Marquis, and Town Car. Now the reason for this is I'm running larger brakes on this car that required larger wheels to clear the brake calipers. And one of the videos concerning Steve's car, it'll actually be the first real episode of this channel. We'll be covering what you need to make this all work in an older car such as this.
What made you get into Crown Vics? Well, what made you want to do this?
What made me want to modify them, or what made me want one of these kinds of cars?
Both.
All right. Well, what made me want to get one is, well, I've kind of always been around them. Growing up, my first car, which I do still have, is a 1986 LTD Crown Victoria 4-door sedan.
You'll see that car on the channel at some point.
You will see it. Not as pleasing to look at as this, but it's almost just as modified.
If not more in some cases.
True. That vehicle was my sister's, and she got it from her boyfriend. Her boyfriend at the bought it for her from his grandfather. And yeah, I remember I have fond memories of being in that car when I was little, and when the engine had a catastrophic failure, head gasket. Head gasket that actually part of the head gasket blew out on the exhaust side of the head. Kind of sounded like a Harley Davidson. But anyway, that sat in the backyard for about 7 years, and one day I think it was like 15 or something at the time. I was kind of getting interested in cars. Let's see if I can make this thing run. So I took a battery from someplace and put it in the car, and it actually started right up. So goes to show, not ideal what you want to do for a car that's been sitting that long, but I was a dumb kid. I didn't know any better, but it sparked the interest that brought me to this point. Modifying the cars, these things are god awful slow in stock form, and they handle like a bowl of jelly. So anything to make them better and safer and faster, I'm all for it, within reason. I like to try to keep within brands. No LSs. Sorry, not me. I respect the people that do it, but it's not my cup of tea. That's why I've got a little 350 push rod there.
Anything else you want to tell about the car?
Just that this thing was almost a deal of a lifetime. Appreciate the guy actually selling the car to me and dealing with all the shenanigans that involved getting the car to New Jersey. I was originally going to go down to Texas and pick this up, either fly down or drive down in a rental, pick this car up and drive it back home. That would have been quite an adventure, and I kind of wish that I did that. But circumstances led me to a shipping company, which turned out to be a dud, into another shipping company, which turned out to be a lot more money, but it did get the car to me, and I've had it since 2018. So, there's also a lot more modifications to it that I could go on for hours, but you haven't really seen much of this. So, in this case, close this, and that's my 1986 Crown Victorious coupe Tex. You will see a lot more of her throughout the channel. Potential dynos, dyno pulls, drag strip runs, and just general cruising. Maybe some footage of it at Carlisle. For Nationals this year, from hell or high water, because I was supposed to go last year and I got COVID, and it sucked because I already paid for my damn registration. This was supposed to be in the show, didn't work out, but such is life. This year or bust. So thank you, and we're going to show you Steve's car now.